You may be asking yourself, why would I even want to buy an EV truck? By embracing EVs, you'll stand at the forefront of innovation. Customers and corporations are looking for trucking companies to help them meet their climate goals. Being a ZE fleet means shippers and customers can trust that your business is leading the way. Visit HVIB at californiahvib.org and talk to a dealer today. Start planning now.
Get strong.
Hello and welcome back to the She Trucking Podcast. I am your host, Sheree Moore, and I have a special guest with me from Cal Fleet, Miss Nikki. She's going to be talking about the EV trucks, all the electric trucks out here, and giving us so much information on how you can get started with your electric truck to add it to your fleet. Okay, we're going to tell you how to add electric trucks to your fleet. I had an amazing opportunity to be able to drive them when I was in Fresno, California, and I'm excited to share this experience with you today and introduce you to my friend. So after this break, I'm going to bring her on and introduce her.
Deputy Director Nikki Oka. Deputy Director Nikki Oka is the Alternative Fuels Program Manager. She has oversight in marketing, strategy development, business development, and policy opportunities in the truck and off-road industry. She works to accelerate the adoption and use of alternative fuel vehicles and equipment and support infrastructure development needs for the California Air Resources Board, CARB, the Hybrid and Zero-Emission Truck and Bus Voucher Incentive Program, HVIP, and the Clean Off-Road Voucher Incentive Program, CORE. OQK has substantial experience in the freight, trucking, and port operations, as well as a long track record in environmental justice and building community capacity and equity outcomes. She completed a graduate school at Nanyang University, attended Columbia University for undergraduate study, and received a certificate in sustainability from the MIT Sloan School of Business.
And hello, Miss Nikki. Welcome to the She Trucking Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us here today.
And how are you doing today?
We're good. We're warming up out here in California. It's hot.
It's hot out there. I bet. So how did you get into the trucking industry?
Oh, that's interesting. Actually, I knew that I wanted to build jobs in my community. I live here in South Central. My husband and I have been here for a long time with our 3 kids, and I knew that serving the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles had a lot of opportunities for creating jobs and creating wealth in my community. So we started actually a truck tire recycling business. We had a fleet of trucks, and we also served a lot of other trucking companies collecting waste tires and manufacturing rubber products out of those waste tires. So we did that for almost 10 years, right up until about the time of COVID. And that's when we had to close our business. And I was looking around thinking, I still really want to serve my community and serve the other truckers and small business owners that I know out there. And then I found this role working with the state of California on the transition of fleets to zero-emission trucks. So I'm excited to hopefully bring the information and resources that other small business owners are going to need to succeed.
That's awesome. Wow. Well, that explains your picture with all the tires behind you, huh? That explains it. And that's an amazing picture. I absolutely love it. Wow, that's amazing. So, okay, what are electric vehicles? What is the zero emission? Let's break it down for my listeners who may not understand.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when I first started this work, like I mentioned, around the time of COVID 2019, when most folks talked about clean trucks, they were talking about biodiesel trucks or natural gas trucks. Now,
Mhm.
both of those types of trucks still have that traditional combustion engine inside. And that means they still have a tailpipe, even though the fuels that you're putting into them are much cleaner than diesel. But what I'm really here to talk about today is a whole new generation of trucks that have no tailpipe. They are completely zero emissions, and they can sort of come in two different forms. There's a battery electric truck that has a battery, and there's a hydrogen electric truck, which all of the same things like an electric truck, but it's just run on hydrogen fuel. So when we say zero emission trucks, that's what we mean: trucks that have no tailpipes, no fuel, and no emissions at the tailpipe.
And I met you out in Fresno, California, at the no emission event for CalSTAR, and those trucks were so quiet.
Yeah, that I think is one of the first things that drivers say. A lot of drivers say, I'm not interested in an electric truck, but once you get into one and you see how really smooth and quiet, there's a lot less vibration, no fumes or dust. A lot feels a lot safer too, right? Because you can really hear and see what's going on around you. And the overall experience is just really wonderful because one of the most important things is it doesn't have the big motor in the front, which has hundreds, if not thousands, of moving parts. And an electric motor actually, has less than 100 moving parts. And that also really brings down maintenance costs overall. So there's a lot less things that need to be repaired on these trucks over time.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed. I said, wow, am I around all these trucks and it's so quiet? And like you said, and they drove so smooth. They stopped on a dime. It was just a great experience. And I love where the technology is going in trucking. I'm loving it. So why should someone transform their electric?
Yeah, I think there's, a lot of good reasons, but the best reason is probably saving money. Fleets that are transitioning to electric today are really seeing right away lots of fuel savings. So I'm sure all of you out there that are listening probably know exactly how much you're spending on diesel every month. But for me, I was hauling, regional drayage out of the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles. Just one of my drayage trucks was usually about $5,000 to $6,000 a month in diesel fuel. Comparably, you can run those same number of miles on an electric truck, and the electricity to charge the truck will cost less than half of that. So you'd be reducing your, $5,000 or $6,000 a month in diesel to maybe $2,000 or $3,000 a month in electricity. So there's a big cost savings here, and I think that's really being proven to us because a lot of the nation's largest fleets are already transitioning some of their fleet, the shorter local sort of range trucks, to zero emission, even without grants and without incentives and without pressure from the government or their shareholders, because they have, accountants internally that have sat down and put pen to paper and realized that there's actually very good fuel and maintenance savings on these trucks right away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we got to see that firsthand some because they was displaying their trucks out in California. Real companies was displaying their trucks out in California. And I got the opportunity to drive one of the Nikola trucks with the tractor on it, which was pulling about 80,000 pounds, and it felt like I wasn't pulling anything. Nothing at all.
Yeah. I think one of the things that people notice right away is how much power and torque the electric motors have. I think the Nikola fellow was telling me that it has something like 6 times the torque of a comparable diesel truck. Uh, One of the things fleets were saying was that they had to really train their drivers to go lighter on the acceleration pedal and to be lighter on the brakes because they were wearing down the tires faster, that these trucks had so much power. So there is a little bit of learning to be had there on how to drive these trucks, but they really are very smooth, very powerful, lots of acceleration.
So, what services do Cal Fleet Advisors offer to owner operators?
Yeah, one of the things that we noticed when we were talking to fleets in California about making this transition is, lots of folks just needed some guidance on where to start. I think one of the most important things to remember as you start your transition to zero emission is that your utility provider is now going to be your fuel provider. So you probably need to talk to them first. That's one of the important first steps is, talking to your utility, finding out what programs they have. Most utilities across the country now have all types of grants and incentives and support programs that can help you install chargers at your yard. And you also have to chat with your landlord, obviously, at your yard about if they're going to help you get chargers put in, or if those chargers are just going to belong to you and maybe you take them with you when you leave. So it's a little bit different than back in the days of diesel when you would just buy your truck and fill up anywhere along the road. This does take a little bit of pre-planning, but it's definitely worth it when it comes to the savings later.
And you spoke about people can buy the charger. So that can be also an investment for those who are listening that are investors, if you want to invest into the charging as well. And Miss Nikki gave us so many different options, and I'm going to be posting, especially go to their website of where you can see those vehicles. We'll be talking about that here soon. So stay with us. Stay with us. We'll be talking about where you can see them in real time, these vehicles that are available. I will be pulling that website up, and make sure you go to their website, calfleetadvisors.org, so you can learn more. You can participate in the grants like she was speaking of as well. And like I said, if you don't want to get the truck, guess what? You're still needed if you want to be able to get one of those chargers as well. So you can come into the electric vehicle zero emission movement either way. But I'll tell you, those trucks are great. And it is a great investment. It's really, really a great investment. So what kind of vehicles are available?
Yeah, there's over 120 models of medium and heavy duty trucks available now, everywhere from your sort of smaller delivery vans, medium-sized step vans. Those are very popular with last mile delivery companies. We've got several large, well-known OEMs that make the bigger box trucks if you're looking for a 6 or a 7 box truck, all the way up to the tractors and trailers that I think you and I and a lot of your listeners are used to. If you check out the California HVIP vehicle catalog website link, you can browse through images of all of these different trucks. You can check out the specs, the range, and you'll see that there's dealers associated with all of them. And most of our dealers are in California, but you will see that there are dealers all across the nation. And if you have a particular truck maker that you work with now, that you just are very loyal to that brand, whether or not that's Peterbilt, Freightliner, Mack, Volvo, International, Navistar, all of them, they all now have electric truck models. So you can go and talk to your local dealer and ask them what they have available, because they all now have models that you can order today. They're commercially available.
Absolutely. I also had the opportunity to drive the Peterbilt, the Kenworth. And there was another one that I drove. I cannot remember the name of that one. It kind of looks like the Nikola. What is it?
Oh, it might be the BYD trucks.
BYD. And I never had ever. That was the first time I ever seen a BYD truck. Can you tell everybody what that stands for?
Oh, I believe their building here in Los Angeles has a logo on it that says "Build Your Dreams."
Yes, I love that. Build your dreams. That truck right there, that I was just happy to drive it because that is just build your dreams. Like, come on now, y'all. Listen, you can get a truck that's called Build Your Dreams because you will be building your dream as you enter into it. For those who don't own a truck yet, you'll be building your dreams and starting your fleet with zero emission, helping the world out as well in the process, making money and saving money. Making money and saving money at the same time. That's a win-win. That is a win-win. So, what is the process like and how do people apply?
Yeah, so in California, we do have lots of financial incentives to help with the purchase price of an electric truck because they are pretty expensive upfront. But as I mentioned, also, if you're not in California and you go to one of your local dealers and talk to them about your interest in zero emission trucks, they will have grant writers and people who can support you because there's a lot of federal funding also now available to help getting down the cost of these vehicles and chargers. So don't be discouraged if you're not in California. If you are in California, you can contact us at Cal Fleet Advisor, and our process, we do an intake interview. We find out kind of how far and how long your routes are, what class of vehicle you're looking for, what type of work you're doing, so that we could try to match you with the best solution for your business. But the same is true for any of these dealers across the country. They're going to be asking you all the same things so that they can find the right package of the right vehicle, the right charging solution, and the right grants and funding to help you get into your first electric vehicle. Because California just passed our regulation that's going to force larger fleets to start adopting zero emission trucks. Starting in a couple of years here, it'll be required that the largest fleets have 10% of their fleet go electric. And that means, one, that they're going to turn around and they're going to be looking for small business contractors that can help them meet that obligation. So we think it's a really good opportunity for small businesses out there to be at the leading edge, because large companies are going to be looking to work with you if you have some of these electric trucks in your fleet. And those rules that we just adopted here in California this year are going to be rolled out across the country over the next 5 to 10 years. So guys can all be prepared that rules like our advanced clean truck and advanced clean fleet rules here in California will be coming to states that you operate in now.
So you can be a part of it. Definitely go to calfleetadvisors.org. Check out their website. You won't be answering this alone. They are here to advise you, hold your hand, and take you every step of the way in this process of changing your fleet over to electric vehicles. So, how do people qualify for the program? What are the the qualifications?
Yeah, our service is actually open to everyone, and it is funded by the California Air Resources Board. So you do not need any special qualifications to come to us and at least receive that sort of intake process and initial first steps. For the incentives that are in the state of California, we currently have $203 million available in the HVIP incentive program. Again, that is open to fleets of all sizes. And coming up here at the end of the month, we have a special set aside of $33 million, which is available to small fleets. So if you have a small business with less than 20 trucks, we actually offer up to 90% of the vehicle cost in grants and incentives through the state of California and the California Air Resources Board. So lots of resources available, from the most funding for the smallest fleets up to still having funds and resources for even the largest fleets. So the state of California is very committed to this and investing very heavily in supporting fleets making the transition.
Absolutely. I love it. So Miss Nikki come today to help you get started. She is here to help you and advise you on how to make that transition because it, like she said, it's mandatory in California. Now, for people who are not in California, as she said before, there are resources on the website along with on the website that we posted. Let me put that back up as well, where you can see some of the vehicles that are available in your area as well. And then they will connect you if you have any questions to the right place to go as well. If a person doesn't have any trucks, can they contact you?
Yes. Yes, we are happy to help small and starting out fleets. Some of our first participants in the program, in fact, had had zero trucks. I'm thinking actually of another woman-owned business here in California, Avant-Garde. We all call her A-Gal. She is a car carrier hauler for Nissan, moving their cars out of the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles. And she got her first 3 battery electric car carrier tractors. They were delivered last year. And she used our incentive programs and our advisory services. And Nissan, her customer, who was really committed to making sure that their new electric cars were being transported to the dealership on electric trucks, they went ahead and installed the chargers for her, both at the terminal pickup location and at the dealership. So she was able to save a lot of money because her customer was really committed to working with her to making sure that her fleet and their products were being moved in a way that they wanted to, they want to tell that story to their shareholders and their customers. So that's a really good example of how partnership can work. And so she got her first 3 trucks using the program. So we're happy to work with fleets that don't have trucks yet.
I love that. And a lot of people are like, oh, I want to get to the shipper. I want to get to the shipper. Well, this will help you build a relationship with their shipper. You're going to come in and you're going to stand apart from everyone else that's coming in with diesel trucks. Now you can have a different conversation and tell them about your equipment and bring it on. So I love that this provides an opportunity for carriers to have a direct relationship to shippers as well. And is this program free?
Yes, it's all free. It's all funded by the California Air Resources Board.
Wow. So you're telling me that it's free and they don't have to pay later. It's not free for 30 days. That is absolutely free.
Yes, it's absolutely free.
Okay. I love it. So y'all have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. Join in again. That website is scrolling below, calfleetadvisors.org. And make sure that you are writing in the comments so we can answer your questions. If you have any questions, I know y'all have plenty of questions. So ask away any questions that you have. I had a lot of questions myself, and they advised and answered my questions during the event, especially. And I enjoyed your presentation. It was amazing. It was amazing. So, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna give her just a second because I want to replay the commercial from when we was in California. And so you can see some of those trucks that we are talking about. And I'm gonna be sharing more footage as well, but I'm gonna give her a second, and we're gonna I can show y'all the visual of the trucks. We'll be right back. And just like that, we're back. As you saw some of the box trucks, I saw box trucks. I saw farming equipment. So everything. I think everything transportation. They are going into the electric, the EV trucks and zero emission. And why is zero emission so important?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned at the beginning of the call that Los Angeles, my husband and I have both lived our whole lives right here in South Central, and we're raising our three small children here pretty close to the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles. And we have some of the worst air quality in the world. So the pollution from the diesel trucks that are idling at our ports means that lots of members of our community suffer from asthma, COPD, um, heart issues. We live in a cancer corridor, right? So it's these communities and also the rail yards. I was working on a project with a big, logistics rail yard here, not far from my home, and they said that the elementary school across the street had a 97% asthma rate. And
Wow.
so, yeah, it's really been these communities who have been really advocating for cleaner trucks every year, which we know can be hard on the trucking community because I was a trucker too, and it was hard for me to retire my older diesel trucks and get the cleaner ones with DPF filters and things like that. So, we're using state funding to fund this because all of the studies have really shown that the state is going to actually end up saving billions of dollars from better health outcomes, like just what is spent on emergency room visits and taking care of folks when they get sick from these preventable diseases. That savings, we're sort of turning around and really, making strong investments to make sure that the businesses that have to make this transition have the funding and the support that they need to get into cleaner equipment. And the same is true for all of us as drivers too, because you guys know when you have to stand back there behind tailpipes and in trucking yards all day, we're also breathing that stuff.
You're right. Saying that, it reminds me. I didn't have like allergies and stuff before I started being a truck driver, and here I am now. Every morning, I'm like, you know, I'm like these allergies has gotten worse, and so I love that this emission is here. It's for the people. It's for us. It's the longevity of our lives, y'all. This is a very important movement. I want y'all to take a part. I want you to go to their website, Cal Fleet Advisors, okay, .org, and check them out. It's absolutely free, okay, and just get more information. Also, I'm gonna drop again the link that so you can see the trucks in real time electric trucks that are available today. That's gonna be the California HVIP.org/vehicle category/heavy duty. And that website will take, like I said again, will show you the trucks that are available. And so you can be able to pick one that is best for your fleet or your first truck. And this, like I said, it's a win-win situation because this is a free service that they are offering. And I want to say thank you to CalStar and Cal Fleet as well for being advisors to be able to offer this to women and members of our community. So on that note, is there anything else you would like to share with the She Trucking community?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody should take a look at that vehicle catalog that you just put up there because you can really get inspired and see videos from all the different trucks as they're working. And then right there is the dealer contact information. So, feel free to email them or call them up and ask them about the trucks. And if you don't get any responses from any of our dealers, then you contact us directly because we love to go and advocate for our small business owners and make sure that they are getting all of the support and help and attention that they need. So you just let us know and we'll make sure that you get in touch with somebody who's answering your questions and getting right back to you.
I love it. While I was there, some of the attendees had already taken advantage of the initiative and getting into the EV truck. So I got to meet some real people in real time, and they loved it. They was there, talking about the support that one of the guys was talking about the support. I actually took a picture with him. I got to figure out who he was, but I took a picture with him while we was at the event because he was just like, yeah, I've worked with y'all before and all that kind of stuff. So I love it. And thank you again for coming on the She Trucking podcast. Where can they can just find you right here on the website at calfleetadvisors.org.
Yep, that is the best place to find us and get started.
Now, before I go, I always ask people to leave us a quote. What is your favorite quote? What gets you through the day? What's your favorite quote?
Oh, my favorite quote is we are the ones that we've been waiting for.
Yes, I love that. And on that note, again, thank you, Miss Nikki, for joining us on the She Trucking podcast. As she said, we are the ones that you've been waiting for. So check out CalStart and CalFleet. Okay, advisors.org. So, because guess what? This is what you've been waiting for. I've heard y'all talk about the change that you want to see. So, be the change that you want to see. And on that note, we are out. Tune in again for the next She Trucking podcast every Sunday at 8 p.m. and we'll be back. Thanks for watching.
I think the expo was a wonderful platform to give us to be able to get information, valuable information to take forward and share and prosper and grow. So I'm 1,000% perfect.
Hey, just want to say that the 2021 She Trucking Expo was excellent, phenomenal. The founder, Sheree, was outstanding. As a minority and female-owned carrier, I was just totally impressed and look forward to many, many more continued success for all women in logistics, women in trucking, and women supporting women. Thank you.
Hi, this is my first time coming to an expo. We're new to the business. I thought it was awesome. I've never been in my life with a room full of African American millionaires. They were all down to earth. They were sincere. They were honest. She trucking to meet everybody. It's just been an awesome experience. And my daughter and I, we got a journey ahead of us, but we look forward to camaraderie with all the other people. The expo was really excellent. I loved the whole show. We'll be back for years and years.
Hey, I just want to tell you how appreciative I am of what was provided here today. I think what was provided here today is such a service to people that don't know. If you want to get into this business, it was over $1 million worth of game for free. Not the stuff that you had to give with people about just because they was giving and loving and want to see us do what we do. I think I got a multi-million-dollar worth of game today, so I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for putting this together. Came all the way from California for it.
Hello, I'm Sheree Moore from She Trucking. Another rumor about EVs is that they're slower than diesel. That is 100% wrong. As we take off, there is no lag time. The acceleration is immediate. EV trucks pack even more torque, pulling power, and faster acceleration than their diesel counterparts. So, as a truck driver, I've been driving now for 10 years, and I will say the technology that they have now is not like when I started driving. It's quiet, it doesn't smell, and it's comfortable. I spend so much of my time in these trucks, so it's extremely important for me to test drive these before purchasing. HVIP has events regularly to test drive these trucks. Stake Start to find out where events are near you.